Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here. MBT is my online moniker, and I told you it was going to be fast. That was the second to last game. The other one finished as we were doing the post-game discussion. So now it is time for round 4. We are featuring, for the first time, an OX participant. SPS donated a lot of money, and I am nothing if not greedy. So they are going to be your round 4 feature, but don't despair. Not only are they playing a super innovative, interesting deck they have been one-tricking for a long time that I think it will do you a lot of good to check out. Their opponent, Gimmick, is playing Adamancipator. So, you will get meta gameplay, you will get one-tricks playing cool stuff, and we will have a lot of fun together watching it. Let me pop over to the studio. They are already ready, prompt if nothing else. So let's transition over there, and I'll let them know to start. All right. For those of you asking where the link to the music playlist is, it's just non-copyright sounds. I'm sorry. All right, Gimmick, show me what you've got. Your opinions are bad enough that your play should be good. So Gimmick Puppet's a very interesting archetype. It recently got a lot of new support, and no one has been more dedicated to breaking it than SPS. They almost exclusively play this deck, and honestly, they are unironically extremely good at it. It's got a lot of cards that would be broken in any other archetype, and I'm excited to see how they're going to wield them. So Adamancipator looks like is going to start. They're going to go for Doki Doki, followed by an Adamacia Analyzer. Off the top, they're going to find an Adamacia Crystal Raptite, and I'm excited. This is the first pure Adamacia we've got to look at yet. Even at OX, we can find beauty. So we're going to go for Kawaki Mairu Overload before special summoning an Adamacia Seeker, and the fact that these can all special summon each other is just so frustrating. Literal table 500 match, absolutely. All right, so Seeker is going to fire, and off the top we're going to find a Leonite. This should be more than enough to pop off. Adamancipator is, in fact, lit AF. So from here we start building synchro boards, but not before we go into Granite Loyalist. Now this is a card many people don't remember. It's a 2-level 4 monster generic Xyz that lets you add a rock monster from your deck to your hand, and it turns out there's a lot of really good rock monsters, including all of the Adamacia researchers, which can special summon themselves given you've met certain conditions, all of which you have likely met by the time you go into Loyalist. He played Gimmick Puppets when they were anime only. He's that dedicated, for sure. So we're going to go from Needle Fiber into a tuner from deck. I mean, you've probably seen this line a couple of times. Now, notably, the tuners aren't that powerful. It's just the Adamacia monsters. We're not going into anything like O-Lion. We're going to activate the Effective Researcher now that this card is out of our deck, thinning it just a little bit. The problem that this deck usually ends up with is what you're seeing right now. It's got only tuners on its side of the field. So we're going to go for Dragoite's effect. When this card is summoned by the effect of an Adamacia card, you can draw a card. Just really fun that this gets to draw cards in the process. Next is Raptite. This one works like any other Adamacia. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck and special an Excavated Rock monster. And looks like we found one that is not a tuner. Excellent. We're going to go for Dragoite once again. Unfortunately, that effect is a hard once per turn. And from here, we can go into the Tribal Rank 8. We can go into Leonite if we so desire, which adds to hand instead of special summoning. I mean, there's just a lot we can do. We minin'. Can we actually get the Minecraft version of the non-copyright stream? Oh, looks like we are going into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. That's with the Raptite Synchro Monster and a Researcher. And from here we can go to Dragoite as well. That's a Spell and Trap Negate, a Monster Negate, and a Needle Fiber able to port into just about anything. We'll trigger the effect of Raptite. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Wind Synchro and put it back in the extra deck, so you never really have to play more than one copy of Raptite Risen. Alright, pass it back to the opponent, and this is a pretty decent turn 1 setup. It was done off almost absolutely nothing. Alright, so we're going to lead with a copy of Trade In. Now, this is a prime target to negate with Dragoite. I mean, you want to get these 2-for-1s, but Dreary Doll in the graveyard is something that SPS wants regardless, so it's hard to pull the trigger on it. Next up is Condolence Puppet. This lets you send Gimmick monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of monsters your opponent controls that were summoned from the extra deck +1. You can only use each effect once per turn, so when it's negated by Dragite, he's not going to be able to use another one. This is extremely insane. This card is just 5... This is Snake Rain, but for Gimmick puppets. And it has upside, too. You can banish it from the graveyard to prevent a Machine Xyz you control from being destroyed by card effects. Alright, here comes Gimmick Puppet Destroy. I haven't seen this one yet. You can target a Gimmick monster on the field, destroy it, and then when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special 1 or 2 Gimmick Puppet monsters from your hand. Don't negate this with Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. You gotta negate the next effect, you fool! Oh no. Now it's been sent regardless and will be able to activate its graveyard effect, I believe. Oh, even better. We've got a copy of the Abominable Unchained Soul in hand, and that's all the negates off of Gelix's side of the board. Is that... Whoa, is that the end of the board? Crazy. So we're going to go for the Abominable Unchained Soul here, targeting the Halqifibrax. That's all part of one effect, I believe? No, it's not. So we could have tagged out in response, but didn't elect to. We're going to bring back the Dreary Doll. That's 2 level 8s, and oh my god, is this full combo for Gimmick Puppets? Oh my gosh, what is going on? So Bujiki Ashama is a new card from Dual Overload. 2 monsters with the same level is the link material, and it can't be linked. If it's link summoned, you can summon 2 monsters with the same level, 1 from your hand and 1 from your graveyard. Their effects are negated, and afterwards you have to Xyz summon an Xyz monster. Sounds like Bujin support, but going into a Gimmick Puppet rank 8 is incredibly strong. Also, if an Xyz monster activates its effect by detaching material, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it, though I don't think we're likely to see that. Whoa! Oh, didn't have one in the hand, did we? Oh, no. That's very bad. Oh, that's terrible for SPS. I thought he had it. Oh, no. It misses the timing for destroying. Thanks, chat. Well, gonna depend on what these 2 set cards are. So, don't want to spoil anything, but there are a couple of Gimmick Puppet-specific spells and traps that could get SPS out of this. Ooh, special the rock. Go for the rock. Alright, so Dragite's going to activate here and bounce these 2 spells and traps, and oh, that's going to be the end of the game. Very upsetting. Alright, you could just go to battle phase at this point. Is there anything in the graveyard that is worth noting? I do not think so. But regardless, we're going to at least make Block Dragon first. Yeah, I think he just didn't have targets for Akashima. Man, I was excited. I thought we were going to get to see a strings pop-off. Alright, well, that's a quick game 1 for Adamancia, and we're going to have to see what Gimmick Puppets can accomplish in game 2. So I don't really have any idea what you would be boarding. If you're Adamancia, I suppose you would try and board into things that banish cards in the graveyard. DD Crow seems okay. If you're on like DD Ground or any incredible setup tools like that, they probably come in game 3. If you're on SPS's side of the board, you are 100% practiced in beating combo decks. You know, you understand that letting your opponent combo and then leveraging something like a Nibiru is probably your win condition, and also extremely easy to deploy. You know, one thing about Adamancia is that while it's super powerful and ends on unbelievable board states, it isn't notably different than other decks, and that it still has to special a bunch of times in order to get its combos, and it's still vulnerable to Ash Blossom at specific points of the combo. There are fewer points for certain pieces of interaction, but it doesn't change the fact that, you know, you still have to be resolving effects if you want to be winning. Alright, so we're going to game 2. And Doki Doki's the opener again. It looks like SPS has allowed his opponent to go first. Wow. No fear, Shakespeare. Alright, we're going to activate Analyzer's effect here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's even on the Adamancia traps. That's dedication. I don't know how good it is, though. When was part 2 of Quarantine announced? Last Tuesday. And it's been on my socials a couple of times, too. Alright, Granite Loyalist time. Because we already have rock monsters on our side of the field, we can make just about anything. Oh, did you all think it was an April Fool's joke? I apologize if that's the case. It was March 31st, but only in my time zone. Alright, so one of them requires only Adamancia monsters, one of them requires your opponent to special summon a monster, and or to control a monster, and this one requires rocks. So since we got a couple of rocks, we can special summon this one. Gimmick puppets are physically incapable of going first. Well, alright, Draguite's a sweet hit. I think likely we're going to see that, and then a draw off the top. It's unfortunate the Adamancias shuffle onto the bottom, because it'd be really cool if you could tuck something to the top and then activate Draguite just to get it immediately. For those of you saying, is there going to be a part 3? Yeah, likely. Alright, Needle Fiber time. So Needle Fiber is going to summon a tuner from the deck. I believe we have not yet seen... Yep, Seeker. So Seeker it is. And then we'll go into Raptite. We'll activate Raptite's effect. Just like any other Adamancia, we're looking for a rock monster off the top, but not that one. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh, did we whiff? We didn't do. Alright, well, Adamancia Sign will at the very least bring back this copy of Adamancia Seeker, which allows him to go into either Draguite or, what's his face? Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I think we probably want to go into Draguite from here. Oh, we haven't activated Seeker's effect yet? Well, la-dee-da. Let's get ourselves a copy of Leonite in the process. We still do need a 4 to go into Draguite. So I think we're activating the Leonite effect here, which puts an Adamancia on top of the deck. We've got a couple in graveyard. That would be decent. Oh, we went for Sign here. So now you can go into Leonite and then add Sign back to hand. But I believe Sign is a hard once per turn. Don't quote me on this. Dang, doesn't show until he decides. Whoa, a couple of Kawaki Mairus as well. Have we used our normal summon? We have. Alright, Sign it is. It is not a hard once per turn. Alright, let's fire off the Sign, baby. There's Researcher. And then, of course, one of these will likely become a Crystal Wing. Probably the Leonite. Yep, there it goes. Oh, we're going for Draguite first. Alright, well, that's pretty good. We'll put an Adamancia back on top of the deck. Here we're going for the Leonite. And we'll pass it back. So that's only one negate, just a spell and trap negate. SPS could conceivably crack through this. Condolence Puppet it is. Could also use Halqifibrax to go into something crazy. Like what's his name? What's the name of the card? Yeah. We're about to see it. This guy, Formula Synchron. And of course that'll turn into a Ooh, that'll turn into a copy of Crystal Wing as well. It looks like we're using Formula Synchron's effect here to sync out. Alright, we've got 2 negates here, neither of which have been deployed. Magnet Doll into Bisque Doll. Oh man, Bisque Doll is so strong. And wow, we could just attack over the Draguite in order to resolve a spell or trap here. Looks like that's what we're doing. Hope Harbinger is a hell of a card. Walking into the Draguite, is this being destroyed? It is! Alright, what's happening in main phase 2? It's got to be good. Setting 1 card and passing? Oh, well, I have a pretty good idea of what this set card is, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, so. Alright, there it is. Adamancia Analyzer. And then they'll find a Draguite off the top. Pretty strong, pretty strong. It's not looking fantastic, but I would hold my breath if I were all of you. Is he on a second copy of Draguite? That's what's... oh no. There it is. Puppet Parade. So if your opponent controls more monsters than you can special summon Gimmick Puppets from your deck equal to the difference. Then you can set a Rum as well, but of course we don't have to here. And for the rest of the turn, you can't special monsters except Gimmick puppets. This is a Soul Charge. Oh man, this card's broken. So we're going to go into 4 Gimmick puppets. So Bisque Doll, of course, just an incredible card to have in the graveyard. Destroy, oh my god, it gets even better. Humpty Dumpty, and Dreary Doll. Most of these cards being in the graveyard is just an absolute win, but I think it is not unlikely that Sigelix is able to win the game regardless by using Drageite's effect to bounce a majority of them. It's all going to come down to this. What has he got on the top? 1, nothing, nothing. Looks like 3 because Nibiru is a rock. So I don't think we're dead, per se. But it's close. Alright, so we're going to use the effect of Granite Loyalist here. Oh, and that might be it. If we can special the Researcher and attack, that's 3k, 3k, 2300. No, that's likely going to be it. We're going to special the Researcher and go to battle phase. Wow, we're just walking in. Absolutely no respect whatsoever. Alright. That's 3k. That's 3k. And... that's the end of the game. Oh, darn. Oh, well. An interesting game from SPS for sure. The deck does have a lot of really powerful tools. I mean, Puppet Parade is a heck of a card, and a lot of the individual monsters are just so absolutely strong in terms of sticking on the field or the graveyard, but sometimes you just can't get off the ground whatsoever. It looks like we have a fair amount of matches still in progress. Let me see if there's one that we can take a look at.